Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is David from Daveden Web Dev, and on this channel I like to talk about all things WordPress, especially about accessibility and dynamic data. If you can see me, if you can hear me properly, please let me know in the comments and we'll go from there. Okay, hi Aina, thank you for joining in. Let me see. Yep, okay, yes, I think it's working. So yeah, I decided to wear the City jersey today because Manchester City won their match yesterday. So if you are not a Man City fan, I apologize. Oh, yes, I believe so. Andrew, thank you for joining in. Yeah, is it compatible with SCF? Yes, I believe it should be. I haven't tested it out myself, but since it is fully compatible with ACF, I think most of the things are similar between ACF and SCF, so it should be compatible. That is Builderius in this case. Okay, thank you for confirming that it sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. And the audio is good as well, so the video is good. So thank you all. So yeah, today I saw a question in the Builderius group, so I just decided to go live because the question was about if Builderius is compatible with the, what's it called, ACPT and with JetEngine. So I'll be testing it out. I know from the documentation, the compatibility is more focused on ACF for now, ACF, and then supplementarily for Metabox. For the other two, or the others, they are not fully compatible, but at least they will still work. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Andrew, yeah. SCF and ACF Pro, right? Yeah. Okay, so like Aina said, he said they should have, they still have not changed their naming convention between ACF and SCF, so most likely everything should work. ACPT and ACF are different. ACPT is created by Mauro Cassani, I think that's his name, and then ACF is owned by WP Engine, so they are different. They have different structures. ACPT tends to add a bit more fields than ACF, so there are some fields that you only see in ACPT because he's trying to make everything a bit different, better. I should do SCF. We'll see. We'll test everything out today. At least we'll test some few things out and see how everything works. So, just before we continue, I just want to point out that I am using the preview version. So the version you would get when it gets released officially is different from what I have currently, because I got the preview version. There are still a lot of bugs in this preview version, but in the final version, all of those bugs should already be fixed, I believe. I'm not sure, because I'm not one of the devs, so I have no idea what goes on. But I was just lucky to get one of the preview versions. So let me quickly switch my screen so we don't waste too much time. If you have any questions at any point in time, just let me know. I'll stop and try to answer the question, unless I'm doing something very maybe intensive, but otherwise I will try and answer the questions. So yeah, let me switch my screen. And we just, for a while I'll still show my screen. Let me see, can I be in the center of this screen? I don't know, because of how I see. The coffee, don't worry, the coffee is coming soon. Just wait for it. You'd see it at some point. Okay, all right, so let me now take this off and take that off. Okay, so for the first example I'm using, let me start with, I don't even know which one to start with. So let's start with, there are two different builds. One is Jet. I know it's very faint. I chose to use a different browser today because my Chrome dev browser was I don't know what happened. It just started malfunctioning. So I'm using Firefox Developer Edition, and it has this night mode, but it's basically dark. So it's hard to see the address bar. But the first one is called Jet Build, and the other one is ACPT Build. So, hey Ashutosh, thank you for joining in. So yeah, we just go ahead and test out the Builderius before the final release. Let's just see if it is compatible, because some people, before they want to purchase, they want to know if it is compatible with the different custom fields plugins. So we'll see how compatible it is. And yeah, so if you want to get the Builderius, you can use my affiliate link. That will help me out. So let me just put it in the chat. Just a little bit. I should have prepared this. I don't know why. I always say I'm going to prepare things before I go live, but then I'm always going live in just like that. Okay, so now something has decided to disappear on my screen again. Okay. Let me use that. Okay. So, for the first one, if you go to my plugins, this is for JetEngine. We're starting with JetEngine. Okay, thank you very much, Ashutosh. That'll be very much appreciated. And that's the link. So, is anything... What is showing update? I don't understand. Update. Yes. I know there is a free test version. It is... If you go over to... So now this is JetEngine. So if I go over to Add Plugin, and I just simply search for Builderius, you get the free version. So that's what I have active right now. I have the free version, and then you install the pro version as an add-on. So it's almost like Elementor. You install the free version first, then you install the pro version as an add-on. So yeah. And the free version is fully featured because the free version has almost everything. The only things you would lack are a bit more access to the CSS, because with the free version, you are only limited to using the UI. With the pro version, then you can have access to more of the code-based structure. So you get access to writing your own CSS in code rather than using the UI. You get access to creating your own dynamic data. So more things that are related to the code editor are in the pro version, whereas the free version just gives you the UI portion, basically. So yeah. So right now, if I go to my plugins, I don't know why I'm having a ghost update that doesn't show anywhere. I have no idea where that ghost update is going. So yes and no. You get dynamic data, but only from the cover. If you're using the free version, only from posts, pages, and your archive. You can't get dynamic data from any CPT. So basically they limit anything that has to do with custom post types, custom CSS type things, and then custom dynamic data from like external sources. You get limited. So everything is only limited to posts and pages if you're on the free version. So yeah, let's see. So the plugins I'm using in this place is Builderius 1.1 beta, Builderius Pro 1.0 beta. Then the other one I'm using is JetEngine 3.7.5. And for now, if you want to install your own custom plugin, you have to write it in code, or you use the Yabe web font loader to add your own fonts. That's the easiest way to do it with Builderius for now. But I think they said after they've finished some of the UI portion and everything, I think in like version 1.2 or something like that, then they will start introducing their own font manager and other things like that. So for now, you need to use the Yabe web font or add the fonts yourself manually. So that's it for the JetEngine version. And what I've done is I've just gone ahead to create an options page. Okay, so I've tried that. The Control F5. I don't know why, because it. Oh, okay. So I guess it's for both of them. So let me see. Control. See F5. Oh, I forgot. My screen has my keyboard is a bit different. Control F5 turns on my what's it called? My voice control. Now how do I close it again? F5 again? Control F5? Yeah, okay, control. Because I use a lot of accessibility things, so some keyboard shortcuts don't work well for me, so I have to press the function key. Where's the function? Control function F5. I think that's it, yeah. Or Control R, I believe. That's the other one. Okay. But it still just doesn't want to go. Even when I do, I think there's a way you can just right click and say, is it there? What's that option to reload? Hard reload or hard reset? I can't remember. Somewhere. But yeah, because this is even on the, I don't know. I just give up. So just ignore it for now. Okay, so while we're here, so we're starting with JetEngine. Then I'll test out ACPT. So first with JetEngine, I've created a post type or two post types. One is called courses and the other one is called instructions. Then what I've done is for the courses, I've added the meta fields directly into the post. So directly there in the creation of the post type, I also added the meta fields. One is a text field, text area, and then the select field. Then there is the repeater, and then within the repeater, I have the text and text area. The other repeater contains, let's see, what does it contain? So it contains text, a time field, another time field, and a select field. So just trying to show different fields. And let's try to see, because I've tried multiple methods to, I don't know, it's something interesting. So if I go there, then I think, where's the reload? So that'll be under, was it network? And then, let's see, how do I do that? Click, okay, let me even just disable cache, refresh. And it'll still be there no matter what I do. Yeah, I think recently with a lot of the plugins, JetEngine with Meta, once you update it, I don't know, the cache doesn't clear, so it will still tell you that there's an update, then you have to install the update again. But in this case, I don't know, it just happened today. I think it probably has to do with this browser or something, because it just happened today. Was the first time I saw the notification, and it's on both websites. So that means it's something that is affecting both websites, because both of them have different plugins installed, but they still have this one that's showing up. So I'm just going to ignore it. So yeah. I right clicked on the, because this is Chrome. Sorry, this is Firefox. So if you right click on refresh, it doesn't show you the same options like in Chrome. So I tried doing that, right clicking on the refresh, but it has a different option than in Chrome. So let's just continue. We have, so I've shown the plugins and I've shown the post type. So the first one, like I said, contains that's the courses. It contains the meta fields directly in the post type. For the other one, which is the instructors, I put the meta fields in a separate meta box, because personally, I always put my meta fields in a separate meta box, because I found that when you're trying to like export, whenever I'm trying to export to something like using WP all import and all of those plugins, they don't detect the fields when I use the JetEngine directly with the post meta fields directly when I'm creating the post type, but when I'm creating the meta fields with the meta box, it works well. So after that, I've just decided not to use that post type, adding the meta fields in the post type anymore. I just create my meta boxes as a separate one, so I do everything separately. I start with the post type, then I create my taxonomies if there are any taxonomies, then I create my meta boxes, and so on. So I just keep going on that down that line. But yeah, just let me know how you tend to handle yours. But yeah, okay. Yeah. The ACF and ACPT, they are slightly different, and you will see from the video today, as we test it out, you see that they're different. So yeah, so I've created those post type. Now with Builderius, I'll now go to Builderius, and the first thing you have to do is basically just look at these instructions, and that's how you basically go on. These are nice features that Builderius has, and when you want to get started, you have to now decide, do you want standard or minimal? In this tutorial, I'm just going to go with the standard, so I'll click on standard. What standard will do is that it will create some templates for you automatically, so that everything is easy. So I'll click on standard settings, and no, I don't need to publish it yet. If you choose to publish, basically it will create all of the templates, then publish that as an initial release for you. But let me just say no, install. So what happens now is, for me, although I will be seeing the new layout, if you go to an incognito browser, and oh no, let me open it with private window, and I copy that same, you'll be seeing my 2025 theme, whereas I'll be seeing my Builderius theme, unless I now publish it to live, then it will go live. So for now, we'll first edit everything. Once we are happy, we'll now create a release, and that goes live. Okay, so now I can go ahead and check my templates. So under templates, it has now created some templates for me for my pages, my posts, my archive pages, my 404, and my blog index, which is basically like the blog page or the home page. If you don't have the blog page as a static page, then it would be the home page. So yeah, now the first thing I'll do is go to my pages, and I have created a home page already called the front page. To set up the front page, all you have to do is go to your appearance, your settings, and then reading, and then you can set up your static page. If you don't set up a static page, when you're trying to create a front page template, Builderius will still tell you to create a static page for the template. So Builderius will help you out. But yeah, I've created my static page, which is my home page. But really, for this example, I think since we're working with dynamic data, maybe I should just work on everything on the templates of my courses. So I'll create a template for my courses, and then we'll do everything there and see if everything works. So I'll go over to Builderius, templates, and I'll create a new template. Okay, so for my templates, this is something that's only in the pro version. So without the pro version, you can't create a template for your custom post types. So when I click on custom post type, nothing happens because you need to define a more advanced condition. So I have to now click on advanced settings. Then I'll now give it a name. So I'll say maybe courses single template. Then what I'll do is I'll now choose to add condition, and for that condition I'll say post type is equal to course. You can add some other extra conditions. And then we'll see what to do. Okay, so let me read the comment. Use this trick to parasitically host a Builderius dev environment in your client's Elementor site, for example, and rebuild each page at your leisure in a sandbox. Exactly. So that's it. Because anything that is Builderius will not take over anything from the current template or the current theme. It will not overwrite anything there. So it's only when you give it the option to override, then it will override that option. So you can literally have your Elementor site running while you are making your changes in your Builderius settings, and nobody will see any difference. Everybody will just be seeing the Elementor site. When you're now ready to go live, you now basically publish to live, and then it goes to live. So yeah, I've chosen my post type as courses, and the other thing is the sort order. Usually I'll just set it to, you can leave it at 10 or you can set it to 20. So basically this is, the lower the number, it is going to override any other template that has a higher, it's basically like specificity. The lower the number, the higher the specificity, basically. So let me now save and open. It will open in a new tab. And we have our new template created. You can see the settings, the sort order. So basically what happens is that now, interestingly, okay, pages takes up 90. The post takes up 20. I don't know how these numbers were generated, but yeah, so the ones with the lower number, so like the 404 template takes up sort order of 10, 10. So those ones will always take higher precedence in case there's that template needs to be called up. It will be called up before any other template, basically. So this is, you can basically adjust the sort order so that if for whatever reason you want some templates to override at some instances, you can now tweak their sort order, and then it will override based on the conditions you set. So based on both the post type condition and the sort order condition, both of them will play a role. Okay, so we have our template, and now we can start adding all our information. So let me open one of the sites that I've created. This is JetEngine. Okay, so let me go to one of the courses. So if I go over to courses, let me look for an example. So you see, I have an example. I've added a course code, the post title first, then we have some JetEngine fields like the course code, the course description, the course level. This is select field, and then this is a repeater field. I wish that JetEngine can like modernize the way they have their layout. The layout looks so, this light gray and dark gray and everything. I don't know, maybe just my eyes, but I don't know. I just feel like they should make it a little nicer. All of these grayish colors just don't, well, that's just for me. Okay, so we have this. Now we can start using those information in our template and see if it works. So I'll go to my template and I will start with a section. See, a section. Then within the container, let me add a heading widget or a heading element. So we'll start trying to get all of the dynamic data. Let's see. So the first one is the post title. So let's see if I can get it. So I'll click on dynamic stack and search for title. And I can get for my post title. Okay. Okay, so that gets me the post title. Let me put it H1. So yeah, the post title is being retrieved correctly, and it is having the right context. The right context is the course the course advanced data science. This is like the context for what your template is being, the data that is being pulled into your template. That is the context, basically. So you can easily change the context and say maybe you want to check for digital marketing, and that will just automatically switch the context. So if you want to do some quick test to see what data will be retrieved based on different page context. You can quickly switch without reloading your page or without going to a different page. You can go directly on the same builder and switch. So yeah, we have the title. The next thing I want to do is maybe add a course code. So now let's see if these things work. We need to get the key. So let's see if that will work. So I'll get the key. And let me go ahead and add maybe a paragraph. Or maybe like a span tag. I don't know. One of them. Okay, so I'll delete this and let's see if that works now. Is there anything for course code? No. So that's where the limitation happens with all of these ones, that you can't see their data directly in the context menu for now. Only if you're using only if you're using ACF or Metabox. But I think, so let me try with, I think there's something called meta field. What was that? I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, no, there's user post meta field. So this is one way I think you can do it. And I can just put the name of the meta field there. I hope it works. Enter. Yes, so this is one way you can get your data, because anything that is stored in the post meta, you can always access it. And that's how you access it. You basically is this wp.post.meta field, meta underscore field double underscore, and whatever the field name is, that will get you the field. So that is, so yeah, I guess that works. So this is our span, our label. So I can just put a text before it, label, or course code. Okay. And this is one thing I like about Builderius over something like, let's say, Builderius over some other page builders, because some other page builders, like I believe, is it something like Breakdance or Elementor, I think, when you're adding dynamic data, it basically takes over the entire field. So you can't actually add elements or like text before and after directly in the text area field. You have to like put it in a separate field where they will have text before, text after, and things like that. That's one thing I like about all of these modern day builders, that they give you that inline addition of code. Even like in the block editor based workflow we have with what's it called, green shift and generate blocks, they allow you to also add the dynamic data inline, so you can add extra text before, after, in between, things like that. So I hope that all of these builders like Elementor will now move to that kind of structure. This addition of the dynamic data, whereby you can't add any elements or any content before or after the dynamic data, it's a bit limiting. So hopefully they will change their strategy. But yeah, so this is how we can get dynamic data. Although it is not yet supported fully, you can get it using this method to get any meta field value you want. So, but these are for simple text. We'll also try with other fields and see if they work. Otherwise, what is the way forward? Let's see. Okay. Oh, hi Lex. Thank you for joining in. Just popping in to say hi, and I'm going to rewatch for sure. Oh, thank you very much, Lex. I believe your live stream is tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Or are you still on holiday? But yeah. Okay. So this is how we can get. So this is for a simple text. Let's continue with the other ones and see if it's going to be that easy. So the other one is course description. I'm just going to copy the key and we'll do the same thing. So for now, I'll just add all of them as dynamic data. One thing you need to note with Builderius is that in Builderius, everything is nestable. So literally every element is nestable. So whenever any element is highlighted and you go ahead and click on an element, that now becomes a child of whatever is highlighted. So that's some limitation that you might get confused at some point, thinking that you are putting a paragraph as a sibling to the heading, but unintentionally putting the paragraph as a child of the heading. So I have to now highlight my container. If I hold shift and I click, it will add the child element without removing the context. So sometimes you may want to, like, let's say you are clicking on this element from the left hand panel. So there's the main panel is on the left hand side, and then you have the quick access toolbar on the right hand side. So depending on which side you want. Nowadays I'm beginning to feel like I'm not liking this right hand panel. With bricks, I was not liking the right hand panel when I was using AT and all of that. But I guess maybe I didn't just like take some time to like it. Now that I'm using it in Builderius, I'm now beginning to see, okay, there is really a need to have this right hand panel so that you can easily access between the structure and the content that you're adding. So yeah, so I guess people who are using bricks, I'll say AT or advanced themer, they came up with that solution a long time ago, which I believe is actually a good one now. So we have the heading, we have a paragraph, another paragraph. Let's see what else can I add. So for this course level, it's a select field. So I'll just add everything as paragraphs for now. I can change them later. That's one beauty about Builderius. Every element, you can change the tag to any other tag you want, and it just works. Similar scenario with grain shift, if you're a grain shift user for blocks. So then the next one is a repeater. So that's where we'll have some issues probably. So let me just add a block. So that's where I'm going to put my repeater, and that block will now contain, let's see, will contain two text fields again. So just put, or maybe a heading and a paragraph. So that will be repeating. And yeah, then the other one is also another repeater. I will actually change this structure later, but I'm just trying to give a basic structure for now, because we would need to use a collection element for anything that repeats. You need to use a collection element. So for now, I'm just using a div, but it will be replaced with a collection element. For that one, I'm just going to put them as regular text. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 paragraph text. We'll change everything later. Okay, now we have the basic details. I can start replacing them with the right content now. So the first one is the description. So I'll do the same thing, meta field. If you're using, like I said, ACF or MetaBox, you can just search for the name of the field directly and it will show up. And hopefully in the future, when JetEngine and ACPT are fully supported, you'll be able to do the same thing with them. So for now, I have to choose meta field, then give it the name of the field I want to get. So in this case, it is description. Oh, I escaped it. So meta field, description, enter. One thing I like about Builderius is that you can directly in the context here, you can basically use PHP directly here within the text area. So what do I mean by that? Let's say I want to only get the first 5 words of my description, or maybe the first 10 words of my description. All I have to do is right click inside of my dynamic data that I've already added. If I right click inside, you can now see, first, if you want to unescape it, let's say it is like the post content that has some HTML that you want to like print out as HTML, not as a string, you can unescape it, or you can do transform. So if I click on transform, I can now choose to say, okay, I want to limit either characters or limit words. If I limit words, I can now say how many words do I want to limit it to. So let's say I want to limit it to 10 words. What will be the suffix? I can choose that and then just say apply. So what it is now doing is using the function limit words. I guess that's a function, limit words, and then it puts the dynamic data in the bracket. So this is basically a PHP function called limit words, and then you put the argument, which is our dynamic data tag, comma, then all of the other arguments that normally go into the function. You can also use WP trim words, I believe. That will also work. WP trim words, if that is the right one. Is that not it? Oh, that's not it. Maybe I've forgotten now. Oh, I just deleted it. Interesting. What did I do? Oh, that it didn't work. Okay, so let me just go back to limit words. I guess I must have been hallucinating. So it's called limit words, and then the function name, and that will now limit the words to the number of words that you want, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words, and then it's limited, and then it puts a suffix of ... So that's one. So the next field we're trying to get is just the level. It's a single field. So let's see. This is select field. So we'll see if that works. I think a select field will still work because it is returning a single value, not an array. So that will still work. So I'll put meta and paste it here. Enter. And that comes up with the right value. The next one is now the repeater. So this is where things start to get interesting. So for a repeater field, you can't do that same thing. You'd have to use the collection element. So first, let me copy the key. And I will now replace this div with a collection element. So let's go. So I'll click on collections. You can either go to the elements panel at the top left and then search for collection, or you can just scroll down. Collection should be part of the... Oh, it's not there. Okay, I think it should be part of favorites. It's not in favorites. Oh yeah, my mind is going back to the old Builderius, because the old Builderius had the collections in the top, among the top elements, but I think they've now rearranged everything. So now it's layout, and then okay, so yeah, I made a mistake. It is not PHP function, it is Builderius expression engine functions. Okay, so yeah, thank you for correcting me. Okay, so yeah, we'll continue. So now let me add a collection element. So like I said, if the paragraph is highlighted and I click on collection, it's going to add the collection as a child of the paragraph. So that's where some things tend to be a bit... So I'll go to the container and then choose collection, or you can use the right hand panel, which what I normally use nowadays. So now I have my collection. Within that collection, I'll now put my div into the template. So this collection is where I will define my array or whatever is going to be repeated. Then within the template is where I'll now define what is going to be outputted. So basically this collection, I'll define the source, which is the input, and then the template now defines what is the output. What do I want to repeat? So that's what it is. So first I'll go to the collection and choose dynamic data tag. Let's first see if that will work. I doubt it will work, but we have to... Let's test. No, that doesn't show anything. So this is where you now have to create what is called a special dynamic data. Oh, interesting. I guess that's where my problem is lying. That my I guess I'm using the wrong version, because my pro version is not showing. Okay, so let's see. Let me go to the settings, and it's there. Okay, let's go. Plugins. So I guess I have one of the wrong preview versions, I guess. So let me just give myself 1 minute. Upload plugin again. I must have done something that broke the system. So let me just make sure that the pro version is installed properly. Okay. Okay. So that's where. My system is showing me some weird thing about pro version. I think there's something wrong. Because when let's see, let's try again. Okay, put the pro version, install. Let's switch. Activate plugin. I think something is just off. It's not telling me that there is a new version. I think that's where the issue has been showing me that number. I think the link it has been telling me to update to, but I have 1.0. It's asking me to update to 0.14.0. So I think something is off with my license. I don't know. Let's go ahead and delete both of them. Okay, yeah, I'll delete both folders. Let me delete. Okay, so let's do that. Let me use something like no, Andrew, Builderius is not available at the moment. It's still a preview version. I think they will be releasing the pro version soon. So let me just install WP Codebox IDE so I can get access. Yeah, exactly. It's asking me to go back to the stable version, but the numbering is different, so it should still not ask me to do that. So I think it's something that has to do with my cache. At least thankfully I'm using a browser that I can easily just delete my cache without problems. So let's see, content, uploads. No, not uploads. It's plugins, yeah. And let's just delete this Builderius. Okay. And let me go ahead and, how do we normally clear cache again? Or like clear browser history settings. I just want to clear everything. History, just clear everything. Manage history and clear so that I can delete. Make sure. Just give me 1 minute to make sure that everything is cleared completely. Or I might just use a different browser. Let me just use another browser. But yeah, I've cleared the one I can clear from there. Hopefully everything works now. I'll also press Ctrl Shift. So this will also close. So let me just close it. Close that. And Ctrl Shift R. Hard reload. Okay, let's try again. So I'll go to plugins. Add plugin. Upload plugin. I believe this is my, let's see, Builderius. I believe this is the one I got. Hopefully. Or maybe that's not it. Maybe that's why it's not working. Let's try the other one. Sorry for the delay, but let's see if this does the same thing now. Hey VJ, thank you for joining in. Okay, so now I have my pro version again. So let's go back to settings. Oh, that means I didn't really clear the cache because it's still connected. But yeah, let's just hope that it works. Okay, so I'll go to my pages and I'll go to, no, sorry, my template, Builderius templates, and I believe it was a course single, open in Builderius. Let's see again. Dynamic data, still not showing. Okay, let me close this browser. Okay, I'm just going to switch my browsers and probably even create a new demo, so at least I'll know that I am working with. Sorry for this inconvenience, because they gave me one copy. I was messing around with some of the code in the copy, to be honest. So then I think I may have broken some things. So let me go to build. Okay, let me use the other browser and hope for the best. So that's ACPT. Okay, plugins. And yeah, I think there's something. I think because it still keeps giving me that there is one update, hidden update that I don't know about. I'm using a different browser now, so it shouldn't give me that. But it's still giving me the same point about there's an update that I'm not seeing. Oh, sorry, wrong browser. Let me switch. Oh yeah, sorry. I shouldn't have spoken too soon. Builderius. I know my screen is still not showing up, but I'm just trying to make sure that everything is working before I switch over. So single, it's not, still not working. Let me delete again, or delete the pro version. Delete. Let's keep trying. Okay. Plugin folder should be. Yeah, okay, let me go to my IDE. Content, and then plugins. So Builderius is not there. Okay, so let's see. I keep forgetting how to switch screens. Okay, plugins. Let's see. Let's go web design. Sengiz, thank you for joining in. I'm just having a little technical difficulty, but it should be back. I should be back soon. So let's see if I can find worst case scenario. Oh, okay. Builderius. Worst case scenario, I'll just go back to one of the other demos that I know that is working, and then we'll try from there. Pro install, and we'll get to see. Okay, install. Okay, refresh. Make sure it is showing the right. Okay, Builderius Pro. Okay, let me go to my Pro settings. Let me deactivate it and reactivate my license. Okay, go to sites. Then JetEngine. Okay, copy license, paste license, valid. Okay, let's see, how do I Okay, I've reloaded, hard reloaded. Now let's see. I'll go back to my templates because it's creating the template for me. That means the pro version is working, because otherwise I would not been able to create my templates. But then it's just not allowing me to get access to dynamic data for some reason. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so I guess it's just that browser. So I will have to test again with that Firefox browser and see if it is the Firefox browser that is not working with the Builderius for some reason. On my Chrome browser, seems to be working. This is my regular Chrome browser. So yeah, we're trying to create... Oh, I didn't save. No. I did not save. So everything broke. Oh. This is what happens when you don't save and you just close. So now everything just disappeared. And so let me just go back and recreate this template. Delete it. Start from scratch. So template. So make sure that everything is working the right way now. So advanced settings is going to be called courses single. Yeah, that's one thing that I'm hoping they will add soon. That autosave and basically history, all of that, I think it will be added soon. Because right now, if you forget to save and you close the page, basically everything is gone. There is no autosave. But yeah, I think that is also part of the roadmap. So I think you would see it when they release the roadmap. You see all of that. So save and open. Okay, now we're back. So now I have to add again. So let's just start adding something. So heading, no, I need to add a section. Then within the container, I would add a heading and maybe some paragraph text. Just add a regular paragraph. No comments. So, and I'm saying the pressure. Even when I'm wearing my Man City jersey, I'm getting the pressure. I'm getting the Manchester United pressure, even though I'm wearing the Man City jersey. But well, we'll go on. So post title. That's for that one. Make sure it is H1. Second one is going to be my, let's go back to CrocoBlock, JetEngine post types, so that we can easily see the fields. So this is only like manual labor you may have to do. You either have to come to your fields to see your fields, or if you're using JetEngine, it allows you to see your fields directly from your page. So I'll go to my courses and then I'll go to one of them, and then I can easily copy the keys. So I'll say course code, copy, and then just make sure I search for meta field, paste the meta field there, allow, yes, meta, and I make sure I save now, just so I don't fall into the same problem again. Okay, so saved. Next one, same thing. In fact, I'll just duplicate the first one because I'm too lazy. Duplicate and copy the key for description. So that should be description. Okay. No, that didn't work. Did I make any mistake? Well, I'm still figuring these things out. So meta field, description. Okay, yeah, it's working. What did I do before? Then level beginner, so I can just copy that, delete, put meta field and level. So that works. So like I said, for the repeater, now we have to use the collection. So I will add a collection element, make sure I'm selecting the right thing, which is the container, collection element, and then I can now move it to where I want. So maybe the 4th point. Okay. Then within the collection, first we now have to define what is the input source. unfortunately, there is no input source. The only input source we have here is our navigation menu, but that's not what we want. We want to get a repeater. So we have to now come to dynamic data. This only you can only do this if you have the pro version. So dynamic data. First, I'll create a variable. In this case, I'm using JetEngine, so I'm just going to write JET, Jet. You can name it anything you want, but it's easier for me to remember Jet. Save and open. Then, now let's see, how do we get it? So let's just even paste the key of this variable and see what it returns. So I'm just going to say Control I. If I'm lost, you can easily see all of the values here. In this case, it's going to be, I think it's just going to be regular meta. No. Now, how do we do that? It's not meta box. It's not meta field. So what is it? Interesting. I never actually tried it. It's not meta box. It's not an options value. So it should be post meta. But what is the any suggestion for Volodymyr? Any suggestion for what it will be for just regular post meta? Because I can see ACF, I can see meta value, but I can't see anything that has to do with this is meta box. Basically, it has ACF and meta box, which are the ones that are supported. But I don't see anything for regular meta field, so I might have some issues. Unless, okay, so let's see. I guess we may have to use a PHP function to just return. This is metabox value. Option value, because the only thing I actually tested previously was options pages. So that's options value, but I never actually tested anything else. So yeah, it's a post meta field. Yeah. So basically, yeah, it's a post meta field. So is there any post? Or do I just write post? Would that work? No, that post, I don't think post will work. Nah. Because that's how I have to go with the query. So first select post. If I select post, okay, then what else? Expression result meta. Oh, meta value. Oh yeah, thank you. I think that's it. The key is now. Oh yeah, okay. So so let's see, get value. Yep, it works. Thank you. So yeah, that works. So it says first select post. So basically I had to select post because it's a post meta value. Then because all my testing has always been with meta box. So I've only just been going directly with meta box because that's what I've been using for most of my tests. So just after I saw the question this morning about ACPT and JetEngine, so I said, let me go live and test it out together with everybody. So now we're all figuring it out together, basically. So yeah, so what we have to do to get values from our post meta field is we need to say that it's a post and then choose, because one nice thing about Builderius is that you always have this context menu. So if you press Ctrl I at any point, you see anything you can access from that field is shown here. So if you want to get from a term, you can get term. If you want to get from a post, you can get the post. But I just missed it. My eyes were, I'm so used to other things, I missed it. So now within the post, it now tells you all of the fields you can get from post. So you can get ACF group value, ACF post object, ACF value. But in this case, we're just getting a regular meta value because we don't have, I think it's only, yeah, so just a regular meta value because we're not using meta box and we're not using ACF. So we just have to say meta and then we get meta value and then we just put the key. So in this case, the key was course outline. If I now say get data, it now gives us the data. But now the naming is not that nice, so we may want to rename it to be something nicer. So instead of meta value, you can name it something like items or something. So items, if you like. And it will return the items. So item 0, item 1. This is how JetEngine actually names it in the what's it called? In the database as item 0, item 1, item 2, item 3, and so on. So basically what we need to now access is this .item. So it will now become jet.post.items, and it will return our array for us. So we can now come back to our collection. Once we have created that dynamic data, it has been created. So we can now come back to our collection, and it should show up here, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. What did I do? I thought that's all I need to do. Collection. And save. Refresh. Or did I miss something out? Template collection. No. Okay. So let's figure it out again. Jet items. Jet post items. And preview. So this gives us the items, but then it's not showing up in the collection for some reason. Okay, let me see if it actually would work if I just type it in. Jet.post.items. Run. Does it work? Let's now add inside the collection. Let me now add something. Let me add a heading and a paragraph. See if it's not repeating, so that means it's not working. So I need to do something else. Yeah, because it's returning or item 0, item 0, item 1, item 1. So it's not returning the actual repeater. So let me go back to the collections. How do I now? I think there's a way to, is it expression value? Or what's it called? Expression. So I'll say item. Items, column, then expression result, right? And the expression would now be, if I remember correctly, jet.post.meta value. No, that doesn't. Oh, I thought I knew this thing, but I don't. Okay, so let's see. So first select. So it is post meta field key. Yeah, post meta field key. Yes. It does not have a. It's not valid source for collection. Okay. So it says it's not a valid source for collection. Is there any way to now make it valid? I don't know. Is there any? So that means there's no way I can get it to return. Okay, so that means the repeater fields, since these are objects, not arrays, right? This is object. So there's no solution for this one. So I guess let me just skip it until I get a solution from the higher ups. Let's continue with the other ones first. So basically, all of the repeaters, I can't access them yet. So that's what it means. Unless there's unless I get a solution from Builderius. At the moment, this dynamic data is returning post meta value. So this meta value is now returning series of item 0, item 1, item 2. It's technically not repeating. Okay, so there we have it. So let me first switch over to ACPT and see if it is going to be the same problem. If it is, then I guess I'm stuck basically. So let's close this. No, leave that open, save it, and close. So let's try with the next one, which is ACPT. I have to do the same thing. So let me go ahead and install WP Codebox IDE to delete my okay. Oh, I guess I read it wrong because when I was reading it, I was thinking, but yeah, now I can understand, because a repeater basically is supposed to repeat if the keys were all the same, I think, then it will have been repeating properly. But because JetEngine writes the keys, uses a key value pair, unlike MetaBox and the others. Okay, PHP function output and function should be array values. Use PHP function. Okay, so it says I should use PHP function. So let's see. While that one is installing, let me first go ahead and delete the Builderius here and make sure I get the right Builderius, so we can quickly switch over when it's time. So WP content, plugins. Yeah, that's why it's called Builderius 1 for some reason. Maybe I should just delete it and install the other Builderius. Interesting. I don't know why it renamed itself to Builderius 1 for some unexpected reasons. Yeah. Okay. Install. Okay. Let's see. That works. When readily useful, out-of-the-box solutions could demonstrate Builderius capabilities. Oh well, this live stream is about ACPT and JetEngine with Builderius. So we have to figure out what makes it work. Then we can, before we switch over to using SCF and ACF and the other ones, those ones will come in regular videos. On the live streams, usually my live streams are about testing things out, not really about showing what is already there. So that's why it's a bit different. So yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see. You want to use ACF? Okay. Let's go ahead and use ACF. But then you say you want SCF. How do I even get SCF? Is it under plugins? Where exactly is SCF stored? I've never actually used SCF. Exactly. So everybody on this live stream has a different one they use. You use SCF. Some people use ACF. Some people use ACF Pro. Some people use JetEngine. Some people use BetaBox, because my YouTube channel has a lot of JetEngine users. So it's hard for me to just say I'm going to only stick to one Metafuel plugin. But yeah, let me install that. While that is working, then, but yeah, Volodymyr, maybe you can send me the function via Facebook or something so that I can see what the function is. So so that we can at least test it out that it works. But yeah, with SCF, let's see. Let's go ahead and create some fields. Let me create post type. Let me create a post type first with SCF. Say maybe movies. Then movie. That's the key. Hierarchical. Then save changes. Create a what? I don't know. Field group. Add a new field group. Say movies fields. And text will be, let's see. Okay, we already have the title. So let's say release year. That will be a number field. Oh yeah, let's just use a number field. Then what else can be a repeater? Just a random repeater. So let's say cast, or like a repeater for the cast.
Motion detected at the front door.
Within that, we have the actor, and that should be a text field here. Then whatever, the role, yeah, the role should be another text field. Okay, then save changes. So at least we test out just two fields. Make sure the post type is called movie, and yeah. Okay, so yeah, let me test that. What Volodymyr just posted. Let's test that before I continue. Okay, so at least let's get one thing working. All right, so this will be items. So I'm going back to, this is JetEngine again, just to test, to make sure it's working, before we switch over to another builder, or to another plugin. So let's see. So this will be, let's just say this is going to be at private. Let's see what works. PHP function output. Is that not items? Yeah. Function, array values, arguments, items, right? Was this what I was supposed to do? Let me know in the comments. Oh yeah. Let's see. Don't worry, I will switch over to SCF soon, but let's just try. Let's at least make sure that one thing is working. Otherwise, it will just be stuck in limbo. So let's say I'm trying to say items will be my meta value, and the key is the key from JetEngine. So that will be for courses. And I just go to copy my key, paste that there. See what that returns. It returns the items as that. Okay. Then inside the post scope. Okay, so still inside this post, right? Then I'll put my PHP function. Right? Okay, let's see. Is that it? Am I doing it right? So this is the items. Or do I have to do any other thing? So this is, let me put, does that work? Okay, so yeah, the PHP, okay. Now I get it. So the PHP function now returns All right, so we've gotten a solution. So I can remove this and say this is my outline. Should be, yeah. So basically what I've done is I've basically hidden the array or the object which is called, that was returning the item 0, item 1, item 2, and I've basically changed it into an array. So now let's see if this array works. I've given the array a name called outline. So now I'll be able to access it using get.post.outline. That should work. So get data, make sure it's working. So let's try it out before we switch over to SCF and ACPT. Let's see if that works. Yeah, so now you can see outline. If I click on it, now it's returning 3 values because I have 3 items in my repeater. So now I can, thank you very much, Volodymyr, it's working. So now in the heading, I can access the title. So that was the title, which you can see, which is the example here, advanced data. If you go over to advanced data, it's because of how JetEngine tends to store their own values is a little different from ACF. Especially ACF has a simple way of returning their data. JetEngine tends to add more context, so it tends to change a lot of things. But yeah, as you can see, I have 3 repeaters items, and that's what we are returning here in the loop. There is machine learning, big data, and then data visualization. If I go to the paragraph, I can access that data as well, which is the description. So that's just because we're in the context of the collection, which is jet.post.outline. I don't have to be putting that context again when I'm getting the data. All I have to now put is the context of what is inside. So the key here is module title. So that's what I'm putting. The key for the other one is module underscore description. So that's what I put inside of the loop, basically. You can see the loop, module underscore title, module underscore description. So that returns the repeater value. So we can do the same thing for our other repeater and so on. So for simple data which returns a single value, you can just use that meta field dynamic data. But for complex values that return an array, that is a list of items, an array or an object, then you have to use the dynamic data tag at the bottom, and then you have to, I believe once everything is sorted out, they will also make it easier using JetEngine, so that you just have to write the same way we write meta box underscore value. You just have to write JetEngine underscore value, and you get the right value you want without having to go through all of this conversion using PHP to convert the object to an array and all of that. So yeah, I believe so. But yeah, that is the main context here with JetEngine. So the data works. So we'll try the same thing with our ACPT and SCF. Or yeah, ACPT and SCF. So let's try with ACPT now. No, with SCF now, since that's what we have installed on this website. As you can see now, if I go to any of my courses, if I go to any course, sorry about the ugly design, but if I go to any course, you can see the title is there, the course ID is there, the description is there, and then my repeater is there. If I want to break this repeater into like a grid of 3, let's say I want to just convert that to a grid of 3, I can come to my collection and I'll just use that class name. I think they have a utility class called grid. And then it breaks it into a grid, I believe. So let me just wrap this in a div. Yeah, that's something that should be added. I wish there's a way I can just right click and say wrap in div, similar to what we have in like Builderius in bricks, rather than having to click on the div and then wrap everything in the div. That's a bit extra work. So hopefully we can have that option. That if I can right click and just say wrap in div and it will wrap in a div block, that would be nice. So I can save and we get our grid of 3 We get our label. I think I can just put, I believe there's a utility class called badge. Let's see, badge outline. Yep, if you want to have a badge outline, let's say the other one is badge something. Badge tonal. I'm just using random classes right now just to show you that there are some utility classes in Builderius. There are some variables as well. And if you have the pro version, you can easily see everything in one place. So if I go to selectors, if you have the free version, you still have access. You can see all of the classes listed on your right hand panel. So you can get access to all of your classes. But then if you have the pro version, you can now go over to the, so let me just give you an example for the free version. Let's say I want to change something that has to do with the body. I can click on the body. These are all of the classes that are loaded into Builderius. You have access to everything. Unlike other builders whereby they have some classes in layers, some builders have classes that you cannot even access at all, and things like that. With Builderius, any CSS that is loaded into Builderius is actually available for you to edit. So unless you have it in your external style sheet or something, as long as it's loaded in Builderius, using the Builderius interface, you have access to it and you can change it. So for example, if you want to change all of the classes with the body or all of the CSS on the body, you can click on body, and then you can see the dot sign tells you that there was some CSS added to the typography, and that was just called var body family font, var font family, var font weight. So you can change all of those values here. Same thing with like the root. If you click on the root and you go over to, where is it? Yeah, you can see, let me close the typography. You can see if anything was added to the root, you can see it there. Otherwise, if you have the pro version, you can now click on the CSS icon. When you click on that CSS icon, that basically tells you in a code format everything that was added to that element. So in code format, so to this root, this was everything that was added. So there were lots of variables that were added to just the root. Then you can go a step further and see, okay, what is all of the CSS that was added in Builderius. You can now go to the all CSS, and that gives you everything, not just for that root element, but for everything that Builderius has added. This is basically Builderius's framework that you have access to. This is their framework. You can change anything in their framework. It is not like hidden from you or hidden in one external style sheet. Everything is plain as day for you to change, and when you change it, it automatically reflects in the UI. So that's some nice thing about Builderius. For example, the badge, you can see the badge that I added. These are the variables that they used. They used val, the color primary 50, the other one. These are for the variables. For the selectors, if I go to badge tonal, let's say I want to change something in the badge tonal. If I now go to my selector CSS, what was added to badge tonal was just border color transparent. Then there is the background color transparent. Then the other one has the variables. Then you can see these custom selectors. So basically everything that is related to this dot badge, it shows you everything. So there is dot badge ghost, dot badge that, and then there is where dot badge ghost. This is also extra CSS that was added to the badge. And so everything, you have access to everything. There is no hidden item. Yeah. So that's one nice thing about Builderius. So now let's go ahead and test out with ACPT, then SCF. So I'll go to, I think we're done with JetEngine for now. ACPT, okay, so let's go to Builderius. And the same thing, I'll go to settings. And yeah, I think the key is there. Then I'll go to templates. Okay, one last thing. Okay, I'll skip that. So we can now go back to our home and decide, do we want to go with minimal or standard? So I'll say For this second example, I'll still go with standard. Install. It will create my template for me. Then, if you see under ACPT custom post types, I've basically created a few custom post types. There is courses and then there is instructors, similar to the first example. Then I've added some field groups. So one for the courses. So let's go ahead and see the courses. Edit. So I've just added some. How do we normally minimize? This is the, but no, that's minimizing all. I think there is a setting. I always forget these Builderius settings to minimize, like to collapse all items. Okay, so with Builderius, with the ACPT, what I've done is I've created different kind of fields. There's text area, select field, repeater, the text area, repeater, text, time, select, and then relationship. So we'll just do the same thing. We'll just test out one text field, one text area field, and one repeater field and see if it works. So I'll do the same thing. Go ahead under Builderius templates, and I'll create a new template for my custom posts, advanced settings, and this will be called courses single. Add condition, the post type will be for my courses. Then I can save and open. Okay, so like I said, similar to the first example, I'm just going to add a few fields. So I'll first start with the section, and I'm just going to drop everything in the section. So I'll drop in a heading, a paragraph, another paragraph, and the collection. So just to test a few fields. So for the heading is the post title, which is basically the same. So I can search for title. That'll be wp.post.title. That gives us the post title. The other one is going to be just one of the fields. So let's see, does ACPT show up directly here? Let's see, let me look for an example of one of the fields from ACPT. So I'll go to my courses. Let's see. Oh no, let me go to ACPT. It's not like JetEngine that shows you the key directly. So I have to go to ACPT field groups and then edit. So the field group name is called course underscore course code. So let's see if that works. So let me search for course code. Course. Nope, it doesn't show. Code doesn't show. So I have to use the same thing, meta field. Unfortunately, with the way ACPT works is that it adds the meta box name underscore the meta field name. So I have to write course, I think, underscore. The meta field name is course code. So that will now be, oh, okay, I forgot. It closes. So meta field will be course underscore course dash code. Yep, so that works. So that's how it is. So with ACPT, you have to write the name of the meta box, the box name, which is called course underscore, then the field name, which is called course dash code. That's the only way it works. So that's it for the first one, and you can do the same thing for the others. So it will be the same thing. I think it's called meta field course underscore course dash description. Is that what it's called? Oh, short description, not course description. Short please work. It's interesting how if okay it I have to. Why does it always do that to me? I thought I am writing it correctly. Or am I miss? Okay, let's try again. Meta field course underscore short dash description, and that works. Okay. It's interesting that if I type it manually, it's not showing up. But if I don't know, maybe I'm typing something wrong. Okay, yeah, because I'm using the hyphen instead of underscore. That's why it's not working, because it converts every hyphen to underscores in the meta field. Okay, yeah, that's why it's wrong. Okay, now I get it. But yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. Now it's working. So let me just make sure I reload my comments, because my comments are not showing up on my screen, unfortunately. So I'm missing a lot of comments. So let's disconnect. Sorry about the delay. Disconnect. And then I'm going to reconnect. And let's see. Hopefully that works now. Okay, so we're back. So now I've seen how to add the field. So with ACPT, you write the box name underscore then the field name, and that should work. So now let's try with the repeater again and see if we get the same results. So for the repeater, I'll go to my collection, or let me first create my dynamic data. This time I'll call it ACPT. Save and edit. I'm trying to get a post meta field, so post and the meta value. Okay. Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That's one thing I was always telling like Mauro, that the naming convention for ACPT is so complex that I get confused with how everything is named. Like, there's so many things you have to add a name underscore another name underscore another. It's with something like ACF, with Metabox, with the others is simple names, but with ACPT, because of how much complexity he's trying to include to make it more powerful, he's adding so much information that it now becomes hard to remember, basically. But yeah, meta value and the key. I'm guessing the key now will be was it the repeater field is starting from course outline, so it'll be course underscore course outline. Okay, so that'll be course underscore course outline. I hope I got it right this time. Okay, yes. And okay, so it's returning a repeater of module title. So I believe that's the name that will now be written out at module title and module description. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so these are two. So with module title, with ACPT, it returns each repeater item is a separate item. With JetEngine combines everything together as one item per array. But let me show you what I mean. So let's go to back to the other example of, yes, with the dynamic data here. You see how JetEngine basically puts each item has title, description. Yes, whereas with ACPT, it is basically title is separate. All the titles, the 3 titles are separate. The 3 descriptions are separate. But I believe it will work. Let's see how it works. Let's try. Let me now go to my template. So I will have to create 2 templates, basically. or find a way to combine them. So hopefully there will be a better way to combine them. But basically, you can see what is happening here. It is module title is 1, and it's returning all of the titles. So if I go and put in my item, so it's a bit complex or a bit complicated. Let's say paragraph, dynamic data tag. It should give me, if I'm not mistaken, loop. Is there any loop? Oh no, that doesn't work. Okay. It's not a valid JSON. Okay. That's why it's always off. So module title. So we need to find a way to basically merge back both items. So title and description needs to be merged back into one array so that we can use it, because basically its title now becomes a separate array, description a separate array, and we want to use them in a single loop. So I guess I'll need help again from Volodymyr, because this is one value as title. Let me first name them. So this will be called module. So the module has module title as a repeater, module description as another repeater. Why can't they just make things easy for everybody? Like, life should be easy. Life shouldn't be so complicated. Okay. But so let's see, what's the easiest? So while I'm still, let me put that on the back burner, and then I'll open up ACF to show you how much easier it is with ACF, or at least SCF, compared to these other two. Let's see, I have it here. Let's now go ahead and let me close every other one. Let's close that. And our movies, let me just go ahead and create some random movies. So the first one will be called test movie 1 with some random content. And then the release year will be, let's say, 2025 or 2012. The actors, let's see, add role. The actor's name will be David. The role is, I don't know, director. Oh, sorry. I put actor and then role again. That is like not correct, but whatever. Then Joshua will be lead, and that's it. Let's publish, and then we'll go ahead and test. So let's go over to Builderius, to templates, and now I'm creating a new template for my posts, which are movies. So I'll say custom posts, advanced settings. The title will be movies single. Add condition, post type will be movie. Save and open. Why didn't it show up? Where's all of the elements? Let me go back. Refresh. Movie single. I created one movie, so it should have content. Why is it blank? Let me just delete it and make sure. Reload, hard reload. Okay, create template again. Or let me add one more movie just to be sure that everything is working. So test movie 2, some other random content, and release year 2025. The repeater actor Jonathan is the music director. Then Mary is the lead. Okay. So I've created two custom posts. Let's see now if it works. So templates, another template, custom post, advanced settings. See my movie, single, add condition. Post type is movie, and save and open. Well, that's weird. Let me just, everything just, okay, let me just do it regularly. Site header, site footer. It's not loading my template. Is it not? It's JetEngine, yeah. It's not loading my template for some reason. Is it because the other one is open? Let's save this and close, close, refresh. Nope. Something is breaking the whole. Is it a problem with SCF? Let's do it again. Jet DD. It might be something to do with SCF. Okay, let me add the SCF fields into the ACPT custom post type and see if anything changes. So let me see, custom post field groups. Let me move it from movie fields to, because I'm using SCF, not ACF. So I don't know if that's what is causing this problem. Save. No, not movie, sorry. I need to move it to course, save, and try again. So let me now try with courses instead of the post type I created with SCF and see if that changes anything. So those are my two fields. So I'll say 2024 Jonathan lead, maybe others. Okay, so that is for digital strategy. Okay, so now I'll go back to my templates, and this time I'll try again with the courses template. The courses template shows up, but the other one didn't show up for some reason. I will try again. Okay, so for this courses template, let me now access the ACF fields in this template, and the one I added it to was called digital science or something. Courses. I added the field to digital marketing strategy. So let me switch my context to digital marketing strategy. And I will just go ahead and say, let me open a new section. And that section, I'll add a heading and say this is for SCF fields. Okay. Then let me add a new paragraph and a new collection. So the paragraph is one of the SCF fields, and I think I called it release year. So we can just see if we can search for release here. So release, and as you can see, if you're using ACF, you don't have to be putting that meta field and then put the key in the meta field. The key will just automatically show up directly in the dynamic stack. That's release year, and the year shows up. Then for the repeater, it's similar. Go to dynamic data, choose a variable, and I'll say this time is for ACF variables. And the variable is going to be I think I can just use the snippets, right? And just say repeater, ACF repeater field, copy, so I don't have to write it myself, and then paste. And it's similar, basically. Post, my repeater is ACF value, then the name of the repeater value. So I can get rid of some of these things. All these ones are not really necessary. Post title, I already have it, but let's just leave it there. ID as well, I don't need it, so I'll just put it as private. So now the repeater will be called what's it called? It was called, no, sorry, wrong one. The repeater was called cast. Yes, it was called cast. So I just have to write cast and cast. Get data, and as you can see, it is returning the cast well. This is how I would expect it to return. Basically, the cast this is the array, and then each of them is actor and role are combined as one element. Actor and role as one element, unlike the ACPT that basically puts all actors as one element in one section. So this one makes it harder to access the data. The way ACPT releases its data makes everything harder, but it gives you more flexibility, but makes everything harder to access, basically. But with ACF, everything is simple. So now I've gotten my key. All I have to now do is come to my template. So come to my collection, choose the dynamic data stack after I have created my whole key, and I'll just choose my ACF field cast. And basically that's it. So I can now go to my template and add my elements. So let's say I want a div. Within the div, I want a heading and a paragraph. Okay, try repeater in collection out of the box. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't even need to do that. Oh, sorry. This is even taking it to I forgot. So I can just even delete that and go to collection, and no, there's no post. Oh, I didn't even need to create a dynamic data tag. I can just use the ACF field cast repeater. This is the one that, in fact, I can delete that dynamic data now. Just delete this ACF. Right? Yes. I don't even need that. ACF comes by default with its own repeater field settings, because, like I said, ACF is fully integrated with Builderius, so you don't really need to go through that method. Sorry, I mistook it. You just need to just click on the dynamic data stack, and you get to see your ACF field cast, which is basically in the post ACF field cast, and that's it. You can see it is repeating twice because I added 2 cast members. So I can say the heading is my actor and the paragraph is my role. And you can see Jonathan, lead, Mary, others. You can also, maybe if you want to return the index, you can also return the index. So let's say I want to return the number. Let's say this is number 1, 2, 3, and so on. I can return my index as well, and just say +1. So now I can say the first actor is Jonathan, the second actor is Mary, and so on. And that's it. With ACF, everything is fully integrated. You literally don't need to even create any dynamic data tag here. The only one I created was for the previous example, which was JetEngine. With ACF, you don't need to create any dynamic data tag. Basically, all of the things are natively supported. So all you have to do is just click on your dynamic data stack and access whatever ACF repeater field, regular field, relationship field that you need, and it will access it well. Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally know about it. I remember the fight last year, so that's why because of what happened last year between the WPE and WP, I've been staying away from both ACF and SCF. That's why I started using Metabox, because I didn't want to go into the drama of both of them. So that's why I've not been using using ACF Pro or SCF or any of them. I just decided to go to JetEngine and Metabox. At least I know I speak to those developers like directly, so I have a more personal relationship with them than having to see two big companies fighting each other. It becomes a bit something that I just didn't like. But yeah. So, but I'm wondering why the SCF custom post type wasn't showing up. I'm not sure why. Let me close all the others. So when I go to my Builderius and templates, and I'll see, let me switch back to my screen to the movie template. I created a movie single, open in Builderius. It just shows me a blank page. I'm not sure why. Oh, okay, yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, I guess everybody will be going to the block Gutenberg editor type of screen. No more using those classic editor screen. Some people will like it, some people will not like it, but we'll see. But I'm still wondering why the one from SCF is not showing up, but the one from the others are showing up. Did I do something wrong with my? It's just showing a blank screen. But yeah, basically that is it. So I think we've gone through most of it. The only one that I'm still trying to figure out is the the ACPT repeater. Because of how ACPT's repeater looks like, I'm not sure how to combine both of them to form something else. So maybe that's the last thing I will try out for today before we head out. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I would test it out properly, get the solution, and then I'll do a video about it, so that it's a more comprehensive video about ACPT. But basically, ACPT is returning post title, a module title separately, and module description separately. But I need to combine both of them into one array. So that's something that's. So in the context of the post, we can not sure to be honest. So yeah, that one I'll figure it out later, and then we'll get to see the solution. So yeah, is there any questions, anything you want me to test out before we call it a day? The other things I didn't test out was the options pages, but most of them with the options page. Let's just quickly show the options page for JetEngine. We'll start with that one, and we'll see. That will be the last thing if there's no other questions. Yeah. So let's say something like, let me delete this, close that, and go to, let's switch over to yeah, I think, yeah, once I get the function for ACPT, I'll show how to do it with ACPT. Then, but yeah, let me see. I need to get to, let me switch over to my, I was saying I was going to check out options pages. So let me switch over back to the courses single. Okay. And then I believe I have some options pages already created with, so let me create one with SCF so that we can test everything out together. So I'll say the options page is called, let me see, let me give it a name like David. Okay, save changes. Then I would add field groups to that David options page. So David field group, and it's just going to be one regular text called secret. Okay. I'll connect it to my options page called David. Yep. Save. So the David secret, I'm just going to put some random string. That's my secret key. Update. Okay, yeah, Ashutosh, thank you. I will do that. I'll go through the way Green Shift does accesses it, and then we'll do the same thing for Builderius. So yeah, all I want to do now is let me get rid of this collection, and the thing I want to get is I want to access all of the options pages. So let me refresh the page, make sure that all of the options pages are coming in. So the first options page is from SCF called David Secret. So let's see if that works. Where am I? I am on this. Refresh. Okay. SCF. Okay. The paragraph field, let me delete all of that. I think. Yeah. So let me now search for my secret. As you can see, it shows up ACF options field and then secret. Is it not showing? Why is it not showing? Why exactly is it not showing? It should show. Something broke. Post types. What's it called? It's called courses. Few. Something just disappeared. Everything just disappeared for some reason. Interesting. Okay, let me just use something, a regular page. About page. Edit with Builderius, because we are testing out the options pages. So I'll add, I don't know what is breaking. What the heck is breaking my site? I don't know. Something I have added just breaking the entire site. Don't know what I did. I'll need to what did I do? Which of the plugins did I add that is making this site to break? Because it was working before, and then all of a sudden now it's not pulling the correct data that I want. Let me go to the other page builder. Pages. About page. So I'm guessing I would have to investigate the SCF better, because I think when I installed SCF, it's now breaking the whole website. So I would have to investigate SCF properly to see maybe there's some function name that was changed that is breaking the site. But yeah, let me just test it out with ACPT's options page and see if I can get that. That's not going to be a problem now. ACPT. Let's see how their options are saved. Let me just close out the other pages so I stop getting confused. But yeah, I think there is something not so working well with ACPT, with SCF and Builderius, but I will have to do some more testing to be sure. But I noticed that the moment I installed SCF, lots of things have started not working out as expected. So that means maybe there is a function that is there that was not properly included in Builderius, so it's breaking it. But yeah, okay. I said I was going to look for, I'm going to just test with ACPT first before we head out, and then you hopefully see some more tailored videos as this week comes up. When I've done proper testing, as the week goes on, I will do some more like videos, not live streams, but regular videos. But yeah, so I wanted to check my options page. So the options page I've created using ACPT. I haven't added any field group yet, so let me add a field group. So ACPT field groups, create a new field group. This will be called options page no, contact field group. Okay. And let me connect it to options page is equal to contact. I'm just going to add one field called secret. And the meta box is called secret, and the meta field is called Josh. Okay. Oh yes, Ashutosh, he said I've never done videos before. It looks like I should start my tutorial videos too. Let's see. I'll try. Yeah, it's always good to share your knowledge. So everybody, there is no knowledge is wasted. Everybody's knowledge is good. So I will definitely encourage you to start a YouTube channel and at least share your own knowledge. You might help a lot of people out there. So now I've added a field group for my options page called contact. So let me just give it a name like Jonathan. Before we continue, I'm just going to use a cheat to know exactly how it is stored in the database. So I'll use dynamic shortcodes. Dynamic shortcodes allows me to see exactly how the field was stored. So if I go to options, I can just search for Josh, and you can see how this is how it is stored in the database based on ACPT. ACPT stores it as the name of, like Ashutosh mentioned in the beginning. Basically, ACPT stores it as the name of the options page, which is contact underscore the meta box name underscore the name of the meta field itself. So that's three things combined, basically. Oh, okay. So Volodymyr just mentioned that there's a bug with options pages of ACPT of ACF. So yeah, so it's not just me. Okay, but yeah, let's try with ACPT. I'll copy that ACPT, and let me go to a regular page. Edit with Builderius, and I'll add a section. So for options pages that are not from ACF, you can't really search it here. You wouldn't see it. So if I search for that Josh, you will not see it. Only ACF and MetaBox option pages that you see in the dynamic tag. For those ones, because they are not yet integrated, you have to create your own dynamic data tag. So I have to come to dynamic data, then create a variable. I'll call it ACPT because that's what I'm using. Save and open. Then I'm looking for options value, and the name of the key, like I said, it is the name of your options page, which is contact underscore the name of the meta box, which is secret underscore the name of the meta field. As you can see from the example, if I go over to ACPT options pages, I created the options page called contact. The key is called contact. So that is contact underscore. If I go to my field groups and edit, the meta box name is called secret underscore. Then the meta field name is called Josh. So that's why it is contact underscore secret underscore Josh. So if I now say get data, you can see the value is Jonathan. So I can now give that a name that I'll be using. So let's say that is secret. So now in the builder, all I have to now do is just reference this secret and it will return the value for me. So I will reference, since I'm in the context of the page itself, not in the context of any loop. I have to now give it the name of the variable, which is ACPT dot secret, and that's when I'll get my value. So let's do that. So under the container, I'll put in a paragraph, and if I go over to the dynamic tag, because I've created the dynamic data, it will now appear up in these options. So I can just search for secret, and as you can see, like I mentioned, it will be called the name of the variable, which is ACPT dot the name that I gave it in the dynamic data called secret, and we get our value Jonathan. If I change the value from ACPT contact and say no, it's not Jonathan, it is Joshua, save and reload, you can see it changes to Joshua. So with ACPT, it is the options page name underscore the meta box name underscore the meta field name. For things like JetEngine, all you just do is the meta field name, and that's it. JetEngine stores it as the name of the meta field, nothing else. But with all the other ones, they store it as that. With ACPT, it stores it with that long name. JetEngine stores it with one name, but then it then puts all of the values as an array under that one name. So each of them has a different way it stores the data. So you would have to just test it out. But like I said, once I've done proper testing, I will now do a series of videos to walk you through so that you don't make any mistakes, you don't get confused, you can just understand it. And this is just the version 1. When this version 1 is fully sorted out, then the other versions will now have more UI based solutions, so you don't have to be remembering code too much. There'll be more of UI based clicking and dragging. But like personally, I'm always used to writing code, so I tend to always write code. As you can see, I have that dynamic shortcodes because I'm always writing the code itself rather than the UI, but they will definitely bring in more UI based solutions to make everything simpler for everyday users. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something from the video. If you did, please do leave a thumbs up. And sorry for all of my ramblings and my mix-ups, because I didn't do a proper test. Like I said, it was a spontaneous live stream today. I didn't test it out before going live. So that's why there were a lot of bugs and lots of things that were not working. But now that I've figured out things that are not working, I'll report it to the team. Then I believe the version that's coming out will have all of the fixes before it is released. So yeah. So thank you. And I'll see you all tomorrow, but not on this channel. So tomorrow I'll be going live on a different channel. I'll leave it in I'll leave a post to the other channel where I'll be doing my live stream, because that will be more about accessibility. So I've decided to create a new channel where I'll just be talking about accessibility and those kinds of topics. But yeah, so let me just answer the question. I just showed it. You can use ACPT. ACPT works. I just showed how to use ACPT here. The only thing is that it is a little bit different. It's not natively supported. Like you wouldn't see it in the drop down. Let me just show you what I mean. So basically, this is ACPT. The only thing is that you wouldn't see the ACPT fields directly in the drop down. You'd have to come over to dynamic tags and create your own field. Basically, it's very simple to create. So everything you just need to do is just, like, let's say I want to get any field. Let's go to the what's it called? Let me just go back to the templates. So for the template of Builderius, templates, and courses, template. As you can see, all of these fields were gotten directly from ACPT. The only thing is that with ACPT, you need to know the name of the meta box underscore the name of the meta field, which is very simple to find out. You just simply go to your ACPT options, so ACPT field groups, and edit the field group. You just need to remember, no, this is for contacts. Let me go for courses. You just need to remember the box name, which is course underscore. So course underscore the field name. So that's course dash code. That's what I used there. You can see course underscore course code. The other one, course underscore short description. So that's the only thing you just need to remember with ACPT, that you have to manually type in the field name and the meta box. But with ACF, you don't have to manually type anything. You just literally write it and it gets in there. So that is the difference. So yeah. Is there any other questions? Any comments? So that we can go. So yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow, and thank you for watching. See you soon.